Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be talking about how we can create a date calculator using Python. So for example, you want to find out what the current time is, and then you want to find out what the date would be after let's say 10 hours and 5 minutes. To calculate that in your head, it might be a bit difficult, but don't worry, we can use Python to do that for us. Same way, we can also subtract time. We can also use Python to find the time duration between two different dates. And we can also use Python to find time in different time zones. So in this video, we're going to be talking about all those topics. So let's get started. The first thing we want to do is we want to import datetime. So from datetime, import datetime, and we also want to import time delta. This will help us to actually subtract and add time to our dates. The first thing we want to do is we want to find the current time. So we create a variable called ctime, and ctime is equal to datetime.now. We use the now function to find the current time. So let's just print this out. We use an f string. Current time is, let's save it and run it. So you can see here the current time is this. Now the first thing you might be wondering is this is actually also showing us the microseconds, and this is not very human readable. So how could we improve this? So we can actually define a format. So the format is %year, and then %month, %day, %hour, colon %minute, and colon %second. So we actually just want to show the year, month, day, hour, minute, and second. So how can we actually add this format to our output? So we can use the function called strftime, and we just pass in the format. So we run it again, and you can see now the current time is more human readable. So this is how we find the current time. But as I said earlier, we want to create a date calculator. So let's say we want to actually add a certain amount of time to our current time, and we want to find out what the new time would be. So to do that, let's create a variable called delta, and we'll use time delta, and we will pass in, let's say we want 2 days, and let's say the hours is 10, and also let's pass in minutes. So the minutes is also, let's say, 10. So what the time would be 2 days, 10 hours, and 10 minutes later. So it's pretty simple. We just have to, the result would be ctime plus delta. And then we just print out f string new time is the result. And of course, we use the strftime to format our output and pass in format. So you can see here we actually defined the difference we want to add to our current time, and then we just add the delta variable to our current time, and then we print it out. So the new time, let's print it again. Here you go. So the current time is actually 13th of August, but the new time is 15th of August. This is because we added 2 days to our current time. Now let's say we want to subtract time. So we just add the subtract operator, and we run it again. And here you can see the new time is 10th of August. And also you can see the time is different because we added, we subtracted 10 hours and 10 minutes. And you can play around with the time delta depending on how much time you want to add or subtract from your current time. And also we can actually find the time duration between two dates. So for this we need to first define two dates. So let's say d1 is equal to date time, and we use a strpt time function. Here what we will do is we need to define our time. So let's say the time is 2022 and then 8 13th August, and let's say 10:50, and I'm just writing a random time. So this is our first time, and we will pass in the format because we need to tell them what format we're using. And then after that, we create another time, let's say D2, so date, time, and again strep time function, and we create another random date, so 2022, let's say 10th May, and let's say 9, 12, and let's say 15 seconds. And again, format, so we pass in the date string and we pass in the format. And the strep time function, what it will do is it will take this string and then convert it to a datetime object. Since it converts it to a datetime object, we can actually just subtract those two. So the time duration is it's pretty simple, just d1 minus d2, and you will be able to just print it out. So here you go. So the current time is this, the new time is this, and the time duration between our 2 days is 95 days, 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 50 seconds, which is quite useful, I think, because if I just gave you these 2 dates and asked you to find the time duration, if you started calculating it in your head, it would be very difficult. But with Python, you can easily find it out. So I think it's a pretty useful function. And actually, we don't want to stop here. We want to take it a little further. So suppose we want to talk about different time zones. So we can actually import something called Pi time zone, PYTZ. I'm not sure how to call it, but yeah. So we import this module, and then we will actually define a time zone. So TZ is equal to PYTZ and time zone. Inside the time zone function, let's say, what time zone do we want? Let's say America slash New York. So this is our time zone, and then all we have to do is we just pass this time zone into the now function. So time zone is equal to time zone. We just run it one more time, and here you can see now the date is actually shown as 12th of August. But if you remove this time zone, earlier, if you remember, let's run it one more time, it was showing 13th of August. So as you can see, we have actually, if you add in the time zone parameter, we're actually using finding the current time in New York, and then we can also add and subtract time to the time in New York, which is quite useful in my opinion. And you might be wondering that, okay, how do I know that the time zone, the string is America slash New York? Well, we can actually list out all the time zones which are available to us. So PYTZ, and here you go, all time zones. So we can just print out all the time zones. So let's run it one more time. And you can see there's a very long list of all the time zones. Obviously, it's very long. We can actually just loop through this. So for element in list, if let's say we want the time zones only in Asia, so if Asia in element, print out the element, print that. So here you go, we can find all the time zones in Asia. So yes, let's just repeat it one more time. I imported the datetime module. I imported by time zone to handle time zones, and we defined a time zone, and we just pass that to our now function to get the current time in a different time zone. If you don't want to handle time zones, just ignore it, leave this blank. And after that, we added some time to time delta to find the time to add or subtract time from the current time. And we can also use the stref time function to format our output so that it's more human readable. And you can actually format this, define this format variable any way you like. And after that, we use the strep time function if to define new dates if you wanted to find the time duration between different dates. And of course, if you wanted to list out all the time zones, you can just use all time zones to print out the time zones. So that's about it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and maybe in the future I'll make more videos about time. I'm not sure. Let's see how this video does. As always, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any comments, you're welcome to comment below. And I will see you soon.